In this demo, we will be going over how to create a new study submission in our new IRB submission system, myResearch. So you will first navigate to myresearch.stonybrook.edu, and you see that there's an IRB tab. So you would select Login using NetID, and you would log in with your NetID and NetID password. Note that if you are not sure what your NetID is, this is available in your Solar account. For the purposes of this demo, we're going to be creating a new study in the test environment. You also have access to this test environment by navigating to this page. Your username is your NetID at stonybrook.edu, and your password is welcome1234. So when you first log in to the live environment, you will first see My Inbox. This is the section that shows you studies that are in a state that requires some sort of action from the investigator side. So this would include something that's in a pre-submission state. This would include something that has a clarification request sent out from our office, something that has modifications, and so on. And you're able to filter on this page based on study ID, name, the date it was created, date it was modified, and the state of the study. So now we're going to go to the IRB page. And you'll notice on this page that this gives you a breakdown of any studies that are currently shared with you. So you can see the studies that are active, any archived. For example, if you close a study, it will show up in this section. You'll see any new information reports, so any RNI reports will show up here. If you have any external IRB studies or sites, it will appear here in these sections. And lastly, you're also able to search studies in this All Submission section. So you can find anything within all these other tabs. And you can filter using a number of filters listed here. Notice that we do have a library available to you. And in this For Investigators library, which you can filter by name, you will see all the templates available to you. So there are consent templates, assent templates, there's the university hospital application, there are protocol templates available to you. So now let's return to the submissions page and let's create a new study. Add the title of your study. Notice that there are red asterisks next to certain questions. A red asterisk means that this is a required section and you must provide an answer. You'll also see question marks along the way. When you click on the question mark, it will bring up help text that is meant to guide you to ensure that you include all necessary information in that section. The short title is the title that will show up in your inbox or in your IRB page. So just make sure that it is an appropriate title. For this demo, I will just use the same one as the title of the study. The principal investigator automatically comes up with the person who creates the study. If this is not the PI, for example, a study coordinator, make sure that you change this to the appropriate person. Will an external IRB act as the IRB of record for this study? Select yes or no. Note that question number 5 and question number 6 are questions that have answers that automatically are locked in once you select continue. So make sure that you are choosing the right answers in these sections. If you don't, and you move forward, you will need to discard this submission and start again so that you can add the correct responses in these sections and get the appropriate follow-up pages. In section 7, you will attach the protocol. Notice that we have several protocol templates. Choose the template that applies to your study, complete the template, and click Add in order to choose the file that you've saved to your computer. If you have another document that you'd like to upload, you would select OK and add another. Select Continue to move on. In the Funding Sources section, add any funding associated with this study. For Sponsors Funding ID, if you don't know this, you can type in unknown. Is this project sponsored but unfunded? Is this research project unsponsored? Choose the option that applies. Study team members. Add all individuals except the principal investigator who will interact or intervene with research subjects or their identifiable data and/or tissue. Add any additional study personnel by selecting OK and add another. In this IRB training section, you can see that there are color-coded boxes to allow you to track each person's training in myResearch. If you notice that there is someone that you've added who you know that they've completed and they have up-to-date City Human Subjects Protection training, but there's nothing here, that suggests that they have not linked their city account to their net ID. And there are instructions on our website to guide people so that they can link their accounts, and once it's linked, you should see the color-coded boxes show up for that person. You can hover over each box in order to see which training they have and see when it expires. In the study scope section, you're just going to complete this as applicable. Note that there are certain questions that trigger additional questions on the following page. For example, if you select yes, you're going to get questions related to approved drugs or biologics that you will be using for this study, for example. Does this study involve accessing or generating individually identifiable health information? If you select yes, you are asked if you are obtaining the subject's authorization. If no, it guides you on which HIPAA form you need to upload. So you would upload the appropriate form here. Select the applicable statement regarding this activity. And do the same for question 6. Note again that depending on what you select, you will have an additional question to answer. This is the local site documents page. If you have any consent forms, or if you're requesting a waiver of consent, you would upload the waiver form, supplemental Form G, or you would upload the consent forms, assent forms, any parent permission, whatever is applicable to your study here. And you would use these templates, which are also available in our library, in myResearch. If you have any recruitment materials to be approved for use, you would upload them here. And if you're unsure what to upload in this section, select this question mark, and it gives you some help text. There's also an other attachment section with help text for you. Once you've completed this page, select Continue. You've now reached the final page of the application. Read this page carefully to ensure that you are requesting all required ancillary reviews. On the main page, which we will go to next, you will see that there's an option to manage ancillary reviews. It requires that you select the person, and you also need to select the review type and specify if a response is required. Be sure to go through this page and make note of all ancillary reviews that are required and the responses that you'll need to add to the Manage Ancillary Reviews section. Once you're done, select Finish. Now let's go to the Manage Ancillary Reviews section in order to share a study for departmental approval. Let's say that this person is the PI's department chair or designated signatory of the department chair. As we saw on the previous page, we need to select department chair as the review type, and we need to select yes, a response is required. And this is important so that the department chair receives a notification and the study shows up in that person's inbox to be reviewed. If you have any other ancillary reviews that need to be requested based on that final page of the application, select OK and add another in order to add everyone. The full list will show up here, review it, and then select OK. Once the department chair approves a study, which in myResearch is called Accept, and you'll notice this in this section of the study, Reviews, that this was shared with the department chair, but the department chair has not yet accepted it. So once the department chair accepts it, the PI will receive an email notification. Once it is ready to be submitted, the PI can then log into his or her account in myResearch, and only the PI will see this option to submit. The PI will then read through this certification and select OK. This study has now been routed to our office for review. Notice that it is in the pre-review state. This is the initial state that the study is in when it is received in our office. And you can see based on the arrows that you may receive a clarification request at the pre-review state, or you will see it move forward to the IRB state. So this flowchart allows you to track the study in real time so that you know the status of the study as it moves along in review.